the third one was to provoke Ofcom into doing something stupid, which is exactly what they did. They put in writing that they don't think U.S. law applies on U.S. soil and that they're going to use sovereign immunity. The game here is getting the lawsuit against Ofcom that we filed. Obviously, it's now been filed. Ofcom's now shown their hand. They've said they want to go for sovereign. They're probably going to argue sovereign immunity when they're in the U.S. And they put in writing that they're going to that they don't think U.S. law applies on U.S. soil. The purpose of the lawsuit was twofold. Well, really threefold. One, to show the global censors that the resistance in the United States is now prepared to fight back, and they don't have freedom of action. Two, to assert my client's claims and defenses in a U.S. court and make the argument in front of a U.S. federal judge. And the third one was to provoke Ofcom into doing something stupid, which is exactly what they did. They put in writing that they don't think U.S. law applies on U.S. soil and that they're going to use sovereign immunity. This rather undermines the British government's assertions that it's made time and again, including to the president, to his face, that the British government is not using its sovereign power to censor American citizens. And if they're going to have an Ofcom come to the U.S. and argue that it's a sovereign instrumentality, and also that American law is completely irrelevant where Americans are concerned, but that it's totally relevant where Ofcom is concerned, that's not going to play well politically. I can tell you it's already not playing well politically. I was in New Hampshire last weekend and proposed a law there to some New Hampshire General Court representatives that we're going to try to get it in this session. So hopefully by January, we will have a U.S. state law, which basically creates a cause of action. The bill that we proposed would create a cause of action against a foreign censor seeking to enforce a foreign censorship law on U.S. soil with civil penalties of $1 million per occurrence and a waiver of sovereign immunity in the New Hampshire courts. So we'll see if we can get that through on procedure. But Ofcom basically made the argument in this notice, which has been provided to the U.S. government, as all notices Ofcom sends to any American are so provided. They made the argument for U.S. legislative reform on this issue far more powerfully than I ever could, and I thank them for that.